know. Niggas know how I'm bumming, nigga. Yeah. Fuck what a nigga say, I feel like Dre. Man, the game is thick. Suckers wanna play and load my K until that bitch click. Big stick, hanging out the bottom of my 4-5. No lie, if I whip it out, somebody gon' die. Only time you hard is on the gram when you go live. Flexing with a tube but never blam, I'ma blow mine. Won't show mine until it's go time. Nah, you can't hold mine. Yeah, I got the whole mine, I'm on the goal line. And I'm going for 6, watch me up the scope. Caught him at the stove, he was with his hoe. Had to let him know, that's your ass, you don't get it past. You reap what you sow. Why you speaking low? Speak up, boy, you been a hoe. Boy, you been a bitch, get off dick, tryna steal my drip. Look up in the air, you see me, I'm fly as bird shit. Never on no nerd shit, why you on that lame shit? You don't want no smoke, you get smoke with who you hang with. You know what I'm saying? Lame ass niggas talking about they on some gang shit. Nigga, you's a bitch, nigga. Matter of fact, nigga, you's a hoe. Nah, you ain't no hoe, cause hoes get dope. Man, your pussy ass a cat.
We fucking live, my niggas.
Tell him free to act. Feeling for your rat, you know he told how you sleep with.
Happy Wire Night, man. Fantasy football, hard to start week 3 recap. A little bit of studs and duds, man, and the week 4 waiver wire targets. JD, what it is.
I ain't trying to share some of this shit to the Facebook groups. Make sure some of these niggas get this shit. Let me share it to my page.
Let them know we on, man. Give us some game. Spitting straight gaming all niggas knowing that. And they be like, and there they go.
That's that 40 water.
40, man. Yeah. We just giving it to y'all, man, Tuesday night, man. This that night, man, when the shit, you know, your eyes, don't matter how tired you is, you going to roll over about wheeze of the hour, man, and go add you a few people, man. Shout out to Sleeper, man. Sleeper make the shit go through right at 12:05, 12:03, 12:04. Yahoo, step your game up, man. Y'all got to get with it, man. They be about 12:40 before they put all the shit through, man. I don't know what their little system or algorithm is, but hopefully they get it together, man.
They just slow, bro. That's all that is. They was the kings for a minute because didn't nobody want to play on NFL Network. Didn't nobody want to play on ESPN. They had a lot of users on their platform, so they thought they could just go ahead and slack off. And, you know, because they bit during the mock draft season, they bit the sleeper the way they mock draft on there, 100%. So they trying to, you know what I mean? Make, hey, you're done. You're finito. So like how Blockbuster was gone. What else is gone because of the time?
Hollywood Video,
nigga, taxi cabs, all types of shit, nigga. The CD service that used to drop CDs off at your house.
CD, baby.
Hey, come on now, man. Hey, Yahoo, your exit stage left here in about 2-3 years if you don't get it together, bro. 100%.
Fantasy wise. I haven't played a sleeper hoop league yet, though. I'm still on the Yahoo with that.
Your brother got a dynasty one.
Is that right?
I know he was trying to put one together, but I think he really got. I think they had live and cracking on that motherfucker.
Before we get started, y'all go ahead and follow the IG page, Hard to Start Fantasy Podcast. Lots of content on there, giving you those snippets of the weekend wrap up, along with some of this shit we dropping to y'all, man, weekly with this fantasy game. Let's get into some big injuries. Give me some injuries other than the big one. Raphael, let me see. Other than Mike.
Bella.
What other big names you got other than Mike Williams?
Shit, right now I'm burnt right now, bro. Don't put me on the spot like that, bro. I ain't never gonna lie. I mean, shit. Let's talk about some boys that's coming back though. We got after this week, Jonathan Taylor's coming back. Hopefully, Jalen Waddle's coming back. Deontay Johnson should be back in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Shit. The way that the Cardinals is playing, I know Josh Dobbs, you know, he knocked off the motherfucking Cowboys, but, you know, you never know when Kyler coming back. You know what I mean? So, you know, let's talk about some motherfuckers that, you know, might be making their debuts.
Man, Eckler's still out. They got a thing talking about the NFLPA filed a suit talking about players is faking injuries. That was crazy. Again, Mike Williams is one of the ones we've seen. I mean, I hate to say it, man, but you know,
he's done for the year.
He's one of those guys that always get injured. But you the injuries he's had has been like back injuries, and actually from it sucks to see somebody go out
He
like
came
that.
into the league with back injuries too.
Yeah, I don't wish injuries on nobody. We'll talk about some of those players on that Charger team and their crazy output and what you may grab. A lot of concustos still. Waddle still in concussion protocol. You still got a Gus Edwards lightweight concussion. Um, when you talk about players like you said coming back, Aaron Jones, Watson is supposed to be coming back this Thursday. Seems like they held them for Thursday night against the Lions. Held them out last
Division
week.
game. They both 2-1, I think.
Ended up coming back down 17. That was crazy. Hey, Love is the guy, man. He's slowly proving that he's. I mean, what other type of circumstances does he gotta have? You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. We'll go ahead and throw the QB top performers this week up there, man. It was some ones, man. We could jump into that right now. We got some this QB Herbert 39, Tua 37. We know why he only had 37 and they scored 70 because the running backs went stupid, but we'll get into that. Kirk Cousins, the number one fantasy quarterback right now, 34 points this week. Andy Dalton filled in for Bryce Young with a 30 pop. Mahomes
Red rifle.
Mahomes had a little ankle injury. He damn near went out in the third quarter, not from an ankle injury because they was beating their ass beginning of the fourth, ended with a 30 pop. Jordan Love, again, up there, 25 points. CJ Stroud, another young goon right now, looking like the best quarterback out that draft class, with him and Bryce Young. So it's early though, but he looked like the guy. We could talk more about him. Lamar Jackson, 24, Josh Allen, 23. You know what they gonna do for you. Purdy with the 22, Hurts 22, Deshaun Watson 22, Kenny Pickett 22, Goff 21, Jimmy G 19, Trevor Lawrence 17. He had about 4 going into the fourth quarter to the second half. But let's talk about Herbert, man. God damn, Herbert and Tua, top 2 quarterbacks right now. Between them and Mahomes and Kirk Cousins, I'll say this. Herbert, Tua, Cousins, Mahomes, who has a better action, and Allen, who has a better action than not being in the top 3 this year? Because if it look how it looked with Miami's offense and the way Herbert is throwing 47 times a game.
It's going to be Kirk Cousins that's not going to finish as a top 3 at the end of week 18.
Let me look at their schedule because man, they can't buy a win.
And the only way that he does finish is like that, because like we said last week, I brought up that he's averaging like close to 40 attempts per game. Even though that Madison had a good game last week, and he did fumble. I don't know if he fumbled twice. I know he fumbled once for sure. But with them not invested in that running back position, and where you at right here? Give me 2 seconds. Madison, 11 receptions with 17 targets. So, and he's only got second. Oh, he got 39 attempts on 155 yards too, though. So he's getting involved in the run game, but the run game is not a priority. You know what I mean? So if Kirk Cousins stay throwing for 40 times a game, and one of them 3 that you just said out of Herbert, Mahomes, Tua, and Allen do happen to maybe miss a significant amount of games, 3, 4, 5 games, then he could sneak in there just based on the attempts that he's throwing and the weapons that he have around him. Top 5 to top 3 tight end, number 1 or the best receiver in the game next to Tyreek. You know what I mean? You got a Jordan Addison. You know what I mean? So this is there for him to be a top 3. I just don't see him finishing with all those other quarterbacks around him being a top 3 because he ain't throw for 5,000. Some of them quarterbacks are known for throwing for 5,000. He hasn't thrown for 40 TDs, I don't think. He's a 30 TD throwing motherfucker, you know what I mean? 15 picks, you know what I mean? So, like I said, if one of them boys happen to fall out, then Cousins could slide in there, but I don't picture him being a top 3 quarterback come January.
I mean, I look at their schedule and I don't really see too many hard matchups. Carolina defense been stingy. They got them next, but whatever. I think they should get that win. KC, they might fuck around and beat KC's first loss, but KC defense looking nice. Then they play Chicago, give them
KC
a
got a
win.
loss already, and
Yeah,
they
they do
won't beat
week
them.
one. Chicago, not week one. Chicago, win. Frisco, I see us beating them, but again, anything's possible. Monday Night Football, Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Denver, Chicago again, Las Vegas, Cincinnati, Detroit, Green Bay. As long as they don't lose out, I can see Kirk Cousins being a top 5 for sure. Top 3.
But the question was top 3.
Yeah, again, top 3, no, because to me, Herbert and Tua might got that on lock.
The only
Then
thing
you
is we
got
never seen
Mahomes and Josh Allen. It's gonna be flip flop to me.
We just haven't seen Tua do this for the whole year. That's the only thing with Tua. Tua's hot. Tua's one of my top 5 or 6 quarterbacks going into this year. You know what I mean? It's just that, when he's on the field and what they did last week, it didn't even involve Jalen Waddle. Craig Kraft go out early in the game, you know what I mean? So of course they got an explosive offense. It's just that can the momentum stay going all the way to January with him being, and he's only been sacked one time this whole year. It's only been 3 games, so he's only been sacked once. So Ron Armstead ain't played. I don't think he's played the last out. 2 games. So you know what I mean? Just with Tua and Mostert, we haven't seen them do it over a 17-game season, even 16 games. You know what I mean? So, that's my only question with them. But the rest of them boys, Cuzos, he's going to have the volume, 100%. You know what I mean? So the volume is going to allow him to try and get there, but I just don't see it transpiring to be a top 3.
At 1.2, it was like 16 for 16 in that game.
Yeah, all the way into the second half, damn near.
He was going crazy. He got the weapons, but again, when you look at stuff like, I mean, we're going to talk about the running backs in a minute. It's just so many elements to their game and their team. It's like, like you said, we know that the end-all, be-all with the Chargers is Herbert, with the Chiefs is Mahomes, with the Bills is Josh Allen. If I name these quarterbacks, do you think I'm going to go 2 young quarterbacks? Do you think they stay in the top 10? Love and Stroud.
Love, he's only throwing 1 pick, or he's throwing 6 TDs and no picks, something like that. So and he's only throwing for 150 yards per game. You know what I mean? So what's saving him is his TD to interception ratio, 100%. So that's the reason why he's a top 10 quarterback right now. And CJ Stroud, that rookie wall is going to hit. You know what I mean? They knocked off Jacksonville, which we all thought Jacksonville was going to be the front runner in that division. We see the Colts just knock off Baltimore on the road with Minshew. So, that division is not is going to be a black and blue, 100%. Tennessee ain't doing what Tennessee usually does, and they just got their first win the week before last. So to me, I don't think that CJ Stroud finishes in the top 10. You know what I mean? Because I think Purdy he'll get slid up in there. Who else can get slid up in there that's not outside of the top 10 right now? See, I ain't even did my quarterback stats yet. So, like I was telling you off camera, I'm every 3 weeks I like to write down. Last year I did every 2 weeks, but this year I'm going to do every 3 weeks. I like to write down the leaders or put it in a spreadsheet to try and track the fucking trends and whatnot. But yeah, CJ Stroud, I don't believe in CJ Stroud or Jordan Love finishes a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. Not at all.
I'm gonna give you. So you got Purdy. What you think about Deshaun Watson first game without Nick Chubb? He still don't look comfortable to me. But I mean, 22 fantasy points, he made it happen.
260 yards, 1 TD. I don't know how many yards he had on the ground, but that defense, he's playing with Myles Garrett, man. They everywhere Myles Garrett would go, they would try and send the tight end to follow him and to chip him, because that's how dominant Myles Garrett is. And it's a part of that defense too, though, you know. So Jerome Ford. Give me a second. Where you at right here? Fucking 3.9 yards per carry, 41 attempts, 160 yards through the first 3 weeks. 58 receiving yards, and he got 3 total TDs. So they're not gonna miss. I ain't gonna say they're not gonna miss a beat without Nick Chubb, but you know the run game is a big part of their offense. You know, it takes a little bit of pressure off, especially when you get turnovers and you're able to go ahead and run down some of that clock and keep the other offense off the field. So dominant defense, okay offense. Mari broke out last week. So I don't know if Deshaun is going to be able to recapture that magic, especially not this year, maybe towards the end of the year once he start getting more, because this is his first full season back. He didn't come back till week 11 last week. So he still didn't have he was able to partake last year in the off season, but this is his first full year of regular duties in 2 years, bro. You know what I mean? So the shit's still coming back to him. You know what I mean? We all say shit is like riding a bike, but when you got almost a year and a half, 2 years off, come on now, man. So as of right now, I'm gonna say no, he doesn't finish as a top 10, top 12 quarterback, but he definitely has the opportunity, especially if he can get more receivers involved and not just having Amari, because they brought in Elijah and you got Donovan People-Jones. You got the fucking rookie. I can't even think of his name right now. I'm drawing a blank, but they got so much talent over there on the offensive side of the ball. It's just that he's not able to do what Watson was doing when he was a top 5 quarterback before the massages.
20, 10, and 23 were his last 3 again. They got a nice schedule coming up. Baltimore and Frisco is going to be hard the next 2. But then after that, you got the Colts, Seattle, Arizona been playing hard. At the end of the year, I look at weeks 14, 15, 16, Jacksonville, Chicago, and Houston. So, if you could buy low on Deshaun and tuck him and you don't need him to start, man, ain't nothing wrong with having him. I'll say that. He will be one of the guys. Are you more comfortable starting Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence? And I'm not saying it because I got Trevor Lawrence.
I would rather start Trevor Lawrence.
Bro, I don't know. So, when I be watching the games on Sunday, right, my kids usually try to take over the TV. They don't let me keep the football on the whole time. So what I do is I take the monitor downstairs, right? I hook the computer up, and I put the games on my TV. I got my red zone in the corner of the monitor, and then I got the games I want to watch in the other corners. And I watch all of Jacksonville's games because I'm so heavily invested in Lawrence and Ridley in a few leagues. Bro, the receivers, specifically Ridley, are dropping touchdowns, bro.
He ran into the fucking goalpost.
Nah, not even that. Last game.
I'm just saying he ran into the goalpost before.
On a deep one. Dropped it. That game you talking about, 3 touchdowns dropped. They say Peterson relieved the coordinator's duties at halftime. You feel me? Of that game. Fucked up part, they got 2 back-to-back games at 6:30 in the morning coming up. Lawrence has actually played better in them London games, so let's see if he get back on.
And they play Atlanta this week, so this really, this got to be one of Ridley's revenge games right here.
Got
the 8. If he scores this week, he has to do the A-Town snap, 100%, bro, or do the dirty bird or something, bro, 100% for real. So And the way that Trevor Lawrence came on last year, the playoff game where they came back from 24-0, bro, or 24-3, whatever the fuck it was. It's just a little bit getting used to having Ridley trying to, and they force-fed him week 1, 100%. They made it a habit to get him involved. So hopefully they're able to just find some type of balance. You just said that they relieved Bro of his duties because he was trying to do too much. He's trying to keep the gas on the pedal and fucking the car wasn't going nowhere. 100%. So let's dial this shit big down. Let's get ETN involved. ETN is a 24 running right back right now. We got Tank. Let's go ahead and get a 50-50 balance.
I don't
And
even.
that
I wouldn't even say the balance necessarily. I would say let's get your playmakers into space and in good positions. You got talent over there. You got Christian Kirk coming off a nice season. Zay Jones, he had an injury. You sign Ingram. You bring Ridley in. You got Etienne, who was amazing in college when he was put in the space. Soon as they came out, the second half, they threw a screen to Etienne in the dumb down, and he went to work. Like I need to see. They need to make the game easier for Trevor Lawrence, and that's why those coaches and shit be underrated, like a McDaniels or McVay or anybody
Daniels
that
is a
come under
bum.
that. I'm talking not McDaniels. Dolphins. What's his? I always say
Oh, he's a
McDaniels.
McDaniels. I thought you was talking about the boy in Oakland.
They make it
Vegas, my bad.
easy for the quarterback. You feel me? Under the Shanahan, McVay, all those new school, all those new school, coordinators. They make it easy for the quarterbacks. I don't see that happening with Trevor Lawrence, and that's crazy when you got the talent. He's one of the best quarterbacks, or maybe he just ain't ready to take that step. We're gonna see.
Well, also just said though that the quarterback, the OC just got relieved of his duties. So their coach, their head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach, Doug Peterson, had Wentz MVP candidate until he tore his knee. They had Foles go in and beat New England. So what it really is that when you the head coach, you got to oversee the whole shit. You just don't got your hands on the offense. You know what I mean? You got to make sure everything is okay. So by him trying to get old boy to look, bro, let's simplify this shit. Let's get some more runs in. Let's play off play action. Let's not be in 2 wide receiver sets because we got to throw Evan Ingram and fucking Christian Kirk out there, especially if Christian Kirk is not playing in 2 receiver sets. Excuse me. You know what I mean? So look, we damn near one of the most talented offensive teams there is. We just not putting up the numbers right now. And then when they played Kansas City, that was a fucking dogfight. I thought it was going to be a shootout. You know what I mean? But it was a fucking dogfight. And they went toe-to-toe with them. They didn't come out victorious. So it's just a slow start to the season for them. I'm not worried about the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars, especially in the division that they got or the division that they're in.
So I just threw the duds up here. QB does. Dak 14, Fields 9, Burrow 7, Daniel Jones 2. Now I'm only throwing Daniel Jones out there because he bounced back from a crazy game the week before. But again, he has 2 fantasy games out of 3 with under 3 points. We don't have to spend too much time talking about him. He's just up there as the duds because people seen that get back game, and I didn't mean to start him in the league. I meant to put in Stroud, but it was a Thursday night game. I was tripping, but he got Seattle coming up. He got Miami. Streaming wise, there's a lot of other quarterbacks I'd rather have than him right now. Golf, obviously. Nobody's playing Danny Dimes at this point, but we are in a lot of Superflex leagues, so we're not going to spend the time on Danny Dimes. But let's talk more about Fields and Burrow. Obviously, Burrow, the injury, I don't know if you watched it, but they had the heat and massage technology on his leg the whole time. He can't really do what he want to do. Do they let him sit out a little? They got a little. They stretch coming up is just how they schedule up. They stretch coming up is Tennessee at Arizona, Seattle, then a bye. Do they sit him on any of these games, or they can't because they're 1-2?
Well, Baltimore's 1-2. Pittsburgh, they won on Sunday night, so I think they're 2-1. No, they lost to the Niners. They won against the Raiders. I don't know who they first game was. They lost to Cleveland. So they're 1-2. You got 3 teams in that division that's 1-2. 100%. Why sitting? If you can go ahead and dial up what you dialed up for Jamar Chase, and the game plan was to get the ball out fast, as long as you're protecting him and you invested in Orlando Brown and you move Jonas Williams to the right tackle. If what worked last night against the Rams is going forward and that goes, there's no way that you're sitting 100%. So what happens is for them to sitting, but in fantasy wise, he's not playable right now.
He's not playable for the foreseeable future, specifically because he's injured. He's clearly injured. I follow a lot of little fantasy doctors on Twitter, and they do a good job breaking
Shout
down.
out to Dr. Jesse.
They do a good job breaking down the injuries with diagrams and what could may not happen. What his calf injury is actually putting his Achilles at stake. His calf injury, they say, is a 3-week heel type injury. And again, I look at those games coming up, and I'm like, if you can go get one in Tennessee, if you can go get one in Arizona, you got Seattle, you got a bye, then you got Frisco and Buffalo. Then you go Houston, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Indy, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, KC, Cleveland. He's not going to last the whole season on this leg without letting it heal. Bruh.
Play through it. That's what they get paid to do. Hey, when you jump up in this motherfucking live, y'all make sure y'all drop a thumbs up in this motherfucker too, bro. Don't be no looky-loos, bro. 100%.
I'm scared of Burrow. On the flip side, like you said, Burrow is unstartable. Fields, unstartable.
Trash.
He only had what he had because he threw a touchdown at the end of the game with DJ Moore.
Well, at least he got the Denver Broncos coming up this Sunday. So he got action at this week. But, you know what I mean? He's definitely unbearable to play right now. Oh, my mama.
Dak threw that interception at the end. Purdy greater than Dak from a
1
Cowboy.
for 5 in the red zone.
Dak is – do he be rattled or what is it, bro? Like –
that get out meme that you used to send back in the day to the group chat. That's what it is. That nigga eyes is
Jones got him. Let's move on to the running backs, man. Top running backs. Let me pull my list up real quick. You got A-Chain. 2 Miami Dolphins in the top 2. A-Chain with 57, Mostert with 45. Ken Walker, 29. Zach Moss, 22. CMC, 22. Jerome Ford, 18. Connor, 18. Madison, 17 after a rough start and a fumble. Etienne with the 17. Miles Sanders with a steady 16. McKinnon came through with a 16. All 3 of the Kansas City running backs actually scored. Pollard with 15. Pacheco with 15. Swift, 14. Sharing the backfield. Damian Pierce bounced back with a 14, Mixon with a solid 13. Rico Dwaddle, however you say it, back up on the Cowboys, 13. Cook, Buffalo, 12. Still getting all the workload, just not getting a touchdown.
No touchdowns.
Breida with the 10, a little fill-in. But obviously, everybody is talking about A-Chain and Mostert right now, and A-Chain being the number 1-2 fantasy waiver wire pickup. Did you see me go pick him up in the morning in Ashy?
Got him in like 3 leagues that morning. 2 leagues. I seen you pick him up in 2 leagues that morning.
So I don't know if y'all do this, but when your players are ruled out and you could put them in IR, go pick up players that may or may can do something. You just getting ahead of the curve. For my example, Christian Watson went on the O for the IR. I put him on IR. I went and picked up A-Chain. In another league, Waddle and Aaron Jones was able to go on O. I picked up Mims. And then I was able to, I picked up Mims. So you got to take, depending on how your shit is, you got to take chances like that. Shit A-Chain have been on the wire, maybe not. Depends on, Mostert's been killing, but we got sharks in our league. Players like Damo, we got A-Chain in Dynasty League, so we all been up on A-Chain. You know what I'm saying? We all been up on what it could be, and we all are playing to maybe Mostert not staying healthy. I hope he do, But we also know that McDaniel likes to use multiple running backs like that 49er system, and he needs his fast running backs to be healthy. So, what better way to keep your running back healthy is if you give them less miles on them tires and you got a player that you could fit in that's exactly like the player in front of him. A Chain is the closest thing to Raheem Mostert in this offense. You agree?
Yeah, speed wise, yeah, for sure.
The boy be moving though.
Yeah,
He
speed
gets
wise, for
busy
sure.
and he gets physical. Same way Mostert gets physical. Are you starting A Chain no matter what now? Just like you would be starting Mostert.
Yeah, I flex him out 100%. He did all his damage in one game.
He went stupid. And he was getting loose.
100%. But so did most of that game too. You know what I mean? So, and they played a team that gave up 70. You know what I mean? So,
But they
I
was
don't,
going through it on 4th and 2, up
so I don't
50.
know if that is sustainable. You know what I mean? They are on set to set the league's points, the record points or points for the record, whatever the fuck you want to say. You know what I mean? So 100%. But like I said, it depends on if fucking the quarterback is able to stay upright and finish. You know what I mean? 100%. And then you got to think Tyreek finished as the number one last year with old boy missing 5 games. Waddle, top 24 wide receiver, missing 5 games. Uh, fucking Mostert, we ain't seen him do it. You know what I mean? So my thing is that with Tua, that's the engine of the fucking car. So as he's able to stay upright, and then yeah, they're gonna be everybody's fantasy viable 100%. But just at the rate of what they did on Sunday to continue with that, I don't know, bro. I really
Play
don't. So
Buffalo next.
to actually answer your question, nigga, A Chain is a viable flex for me right now because fucking Mostert got 41 attempts, 240 yards at 5.9 yards per clip, 100%. And old boy just got all his damage in just this one game. You know what I mean? So right now, I'm starting Mostert 100%, and I'm a flex out motherfucking A Chain.
We got a question real quick. 12-team PPR, 1 QB, 2 wide receivers, 2 running back, 1 flex. You got Cousins. I'm assuming David Montgomery, Najee Harris, Pierce, Algiers. I'm assuming Christian Watson, Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Hopkins. How do I get better at running back? Do I trade CeeDee for Scary Terry, Brian Robinson, and Flowers? No. I think you could play the waiver wire and you can continue to start Pierce. Even though I fucking hate Najee Harris, he's on our dud list. Giving up CD, that big playability, you got better action going to play that wire and seeing who's out there. There's some viable starters out there. Go ahead and tell us who's on the wire because, D Hop ain't been doing nothing, but man, I don't
Giving up
see
CD. I'm gonna tell you a trade that I just did for CD. Hold on. We just talked about the red zone struggles, and he looked for him in the red zone and couldn't get him. So if he's scoring, he got to score from 20, 30, 40, 50 yards out, 100%. And then give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. CD. CD ain't even in the top 24 right now in the first 3 weeks. But let me tell you this trade I just did for CD in the Superflex League. Shout out to homeboy Bogey in one of his home leagues. I got fuck, give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this trade up. This is what I just got for CD, bro. DK, one of the boys you just asked for, McLaurin. I got T-Mac, CD, DK, and Javonte Williams for Algier and fucking CD. Man, run me that easily. And I got Jettis and Christian Kirk on top of Barkley and KW the third on my mama, man. So what I did, I was able to get deeper pause in my lineup by giving up CD. 100%, man. Run that, bro. So yeah, I'm saying trade CD. You also got Diggs and how you ain't getting nothing for DeAndre, and Watson ain't been on the field right now. We don't know what he gonna look like when he get on the field because them other boys, Jalen, Romeo, and Hicks, you know what I mean? So where he got to get in, where he fit in. So yeah, go ahead and break down CD, but you sell him to the highest bidder though, 100%, because just name alone, they gonna bite right now. 100%. So yeah, I'm on the opposite side of Cuzzo. CD Lamb, the 28th receiver right now. 19 receptions, 273 yards, no motherfucking no TDs as of right now, bro. Oh my mama. Can't score within. Nigga, they had the ball inside the 10 and they throw a fucking fade to him. Man, hell, man, get him up out of there, bro.
Man, they defense been carrying them in games. They've been whooping teams so bad lately. I think they schedule gonna get more games where they actually got to throw the ball. I'll take CD and I'll keep him. I'll play the wire. Did you see the trade I did in the SBI?
No, not yet.
I traded most.
Hey, look, y'all asking these questions. Y'all need to throw a thumbs up and hit us with a subscribe wherever you wherever you watching us, bro. Them is facts.
This is a dump Mostert. This is my fault. This is a dump Mostert. I traded Mostert. He gave me D-Hop, Gibbs, and Jerry Jeudy. But that's a super deep league. Just for Mostert alone, that's a super deep league where you play a lot of roster spots. Wood said, what if you got Mostert and A-Chain? Do you bet on both? I play Mostert, sit A-Chain, and see what happens. I'm not playing them both.
As long as Wilson's not there and Wilson is still on the IR, like I said, I'll flex A-Chain and fire up Mostert, bro. It's just like Addison and fucking his counterpart. 100%, bro.
I'm not playing them both on the same team. It depends on how bad my team is right now. Because we still need to see how they gonna use A-Chain. They playing Buffalo. It might be one of them games where it's like, look, we gonna play the vet because rookie, we can't afford to let you do some rookie shit. We finna run this nigga right now. You feel me? And it might be a step back. You know, Waddle coming back. It might be a whole different game plan. So, you know, if you got them both, I say you winning alone because you got guaranteed top running back on a crazy team. Another question: trade Pacheco for Zay Flowers. I'm taking Zay Flowers all day and twice on Tuesday. Zay gonna get you the same numbers Pacheco go get, but bigger boom action. To me, he is the number one receiver other than Mark Andrews, whatever the fuck his name is. I'm tired.
It just depends on who your other running backs is because Pacheco, even though he's getting the carries, he's not scoring. He just got his first touchdown this week. He's going at 4.4 yards per carry, only 155 yards on the ground this year, and he's not getting none of the motherfucking PPR work. So it depends on what other running backs you got, but I think I might do that, big bro.
Yeah, Pacheco is 9 to 12 points a game. That's what he's going to get you. They're going to play all of them. You know what I'm saying? Always like and subscribe. You motherfucking right. So, look, let's talk about we still going down this list. Kenneth Walker, hey, he's the lead back. He's the one that's doing damage on the yard. He ain't on the ground. 29 points. I think his last game was like 17, 18, and then the one before that, 12. He's looking like a top 5 back right now.
And that's what he is. 4.3 yards per carry, 73 reception yards, 4 TDs on the season. He had 2 last week. I mean, what the fuck, bro? What else can you ask for? 100% with them, especially spending second round draft capital on Charbonnet. And he's keeping Charbonnet off the field. 100%. So, yeah, you wanted to go try and trade for him.
Charbonnet's still getting like 40%. He's been getting 40% of the carries damn near. But Kenneth Walker just do so much damage with it, it don't even matter. You know, 12 carries, so, 17, 18, like you said, yards per carry, 2 touchdowns back-to-back games. He's catching the passes. Hey, Walker's that guy, man, and I'm sad I even doubted him. I ever doubted him and passed on him because of Charbonnet. Now, Charbonnet, we talk about wire at the end of the show. He is one of those guys that's still out there, and to me, he should not be on your wire. Pacheco been doing solid for Guru and AOB. I lost Chubb, but still have Pollard, Kyron, Ford, Pacheco, Madison, Hunt, Roshan.
Yeah,
Wide
you send out
receiver is Jimmy.
Pacheco, bro. On my
Yeah,
mama. Get his ass up
Pacheco's
out of there,
gone.
bro.
You just tug Zay. No, I'm gonna say this: Pollard, Kyron, Ford, Pacheco, Madison. You can never have too many, but you do need another wide receiver because Judy and Godwin ain't it. Higgins is
And
up
Higgins
and down.
ain't in right now. I got to
Up and
piss,
down.
blood. I'll be right back.
I like Zay. I'm a big Zay Flowers guy. You know what I'm saying? 10 points, 12 points. I think 16. I think he had 10 points, 16 points, 10 points, 12 points. Let me double check that right now because I do have Zay Flowers and you could say it's biased, but I'm a big fan. Okay, 17 points his first week, 11.8 his second, 13 last week. He's a part of the offense. 10 targets last week, 8 catches, 5 targets the week before, 10 targets week 1. He still hasn't scored a touchdown. His booms games are plenty left in the cut. I'll definitely trade Pacheco for Zay right now because you can go get a wide receiver. You can go get a running back that's going to get you 10 points dinner. Matt Breida just had 10 points. I'm not saying trade him so you can go start Matt Breida, but you got enough running backs to where you good. You know, plus, like I said, you got Pollard, Kyron, Madison, Hunt, Roshan. Man, run that. Keep it. I would either go package Godwin and Pacheco and try to go get somebody maybe better than Zay. Swiver Swerve episode coming soon. Let's keep going. Zach Moss, 22 points. It's looking like Jonathan Taylor, who you just said they just beat Baltimore at home, at their home, away. I mean, shit, Taylor on his way back, but is he? He may be looking like he's more expendable than ever, especially with Richardson being the guy that he is when he come back from his concusto.
It makes it even more deadlier with with Taylor back there to me.
It definitely do. But Zach Moss is looking good when he running that ball. He got new life over there. And I'm watching that game. I was watching that game too. He got some wiggle. He caught a little pass that on the side, scored a touchdown. He looking like he's like they misused him in Buffalo or let him go too soon, or he just didn't fit their scheme because, like I said, new life, man. Zach Moss looks good. Are you holding him or are you trying to hurry up and trade him because of the potential of Taylor? Because I got a trade right now with Spencer that's he said he's going to think about it. He sent me a trade. So we just going to throw out a trade scenario, and I'm asking you, JD. I told him to send it, and I'm going to accept it, but he hasn't. He told me let him think about it for a minute, right? So the trade was first he offered me the trade I sent him was Ayuk and D Hop for Zach Moss and Waddle. He didn't want it because he didn't believe in D Hop. So I counter with Ayuk, Henry, D Hop for Zach Moss and Waddle. My thoughts there is Ayuk and Waddle could be the same player, right? Zach Moss. I'm buying him right now because people are like, I don't know what's going to happen with Taylor. Is he coming back? Is he getting traded? The uncertainty enables you to get him. I've been trying to get him from Wood. I ain't going to say trying to get him from Wood because I haven't said nothing, but I would like to get him from Wood, right? Because once a player has done something like this and gave them and showed them that he can be a factor, it's not just Taylor, go ahead, come take it all. We'll just ride your ankle out. We don't give a fuck. Blah, blah. Bro, they gotta let him play. They gotta let him play.
It just depends on what they see in Taylor on what's their plans, because Zach Moss right now is averaging about 16 attempts per game, 210 yards total, 4.4 yards per carry, and he got 3 TDs in the game. So when Jonathan Taylor comes back, if he's averaging 16 attempts per game, that's going to maybe cut in half, 100%. So you might want to sell high on him. Or, if you're deep at the running back position, then you can afford to ride him out. But to me, I would be looking to try and get what I can for him right now, because Jonathan Taylor is that lead dog. And if they are going to put him out there for trade bait, he has to get attempts, especially if Zach Moss is eating right now like he's doing. You don't think Jonathan Taylor can do the same shit or maybe even better than what Zach Moss is doing, especially if they're dangling him out there for trade bait and don't want to pay him. So it's going to eat into Zach Moss's touches no matter what. So, like I said, it just depends on how your running back room is constructed. But in my opinion, I would be trying to sell high on him right now, bro.
Appreciate you, Nicholas.
Good looking, Nick. 100%, big bro.
Appreciate you. We got another question. I'm looking to possibly pick up Golfer Stroud. Would you drop Stafford or Watson, or do you feel I should stick with that? We just talked about Watson a little bit. Stafford is just a bye week play to me, even though he has looked decent. But I'm gonna keep Watson. Damn, that's tough.
I'm dropping Stafford to go get Goff.
Yeah, I'm dropping Stafford to go get Goff.
Easily.
He got Stafford and Watson, so keep Watson, drop Stafford. Let me see. Yeah, Goff is.
Jameson be back in 3 games, so this week 4 is 6 weeks. They just had an alert. He's back in the facility. He can't practice right now, so that's only 2 more games, well, 3 more games really, that you got to wait without him. And what he's doing, even though Reynolds didn't have a good game last week, man, he got a whole bunch of weapons over there. Monty finna come back. Monty ripping off shit. So that whole Detroit offense is a potent offense. They got a big game on Thursday. Hey, I'm trying to go get Goff.
I'm going to get Goff for this reason right here. Listen to their schedule. And specifically the end of the schedule. Green Bay, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Vegas, week 8, bye week. Then coming out of their bye. Chargers, Chicago, Green Bay, New Orleans. Fantasy playoffs, Chicago, Denver, Minnesota. Them is a hell of a stretch right there for some fantasy dominance right there. I go get Goff.
Definitely.
Let's talk about, we got CMC at 22. We know what CMC. We don't got to spend no time on him. Jerome Ford. Everybody was worried what he was going to do after Chubb. Followed up a good performance. He didn't do good on the rushing, but Tennessee's run D is amazing. That's all they're good at, right? 18 fantasy points, like you said, in the receiving game. Jerome Ford is a guy you should be trying to go trade, and maybe the argument would be, is he going to keep it up? They grab Hunt. I don't think it's going to do it, man. Sell him high. Sell high. That would be your argument to tell somebody to sell high. You see what I text you earlier? Send Ford.
Yeah, so my thing with Ford is that they brought in a 29-year-old running back to help him out, but yet 41 attempts, 160 yards, 3.9 yards per carry, 5 receptions, 7 targets, 58 receptions. 50-yard receiving yards, but 3 TDs on the season, 3 total TDs on the season. So he's going to be able to stay being able to make his mark in this offense. Yes, I would love to sell high on him and bring in a bigger household name, maybe package him to try and go get a K-Dub, the third, maybe a Saquon when he come back. A Saquon, when he was on the field for the first 2 games.
Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones, so he only did his damage in 1 game right now. So I don't know if I would give up for it to bring in Aaron Jones right now, just based on, he didn't sat out the last 2 games. It's unsure if he's playing this week right now, but it's looking like he might be a go. But, that's come – and it's a Thursday game. They play on Thursday, so he ain't playing Thursday. 100% tomorrow, Wednesday.
They say
if it was a Sunday game, then maybe.
They say, like I said, I think they sat him and Christian Watson out last week to play this Thursday versus the Lions. They both 2-1. Lions is 3-0.
Lions got lost to Seattle.
Dobbs said to reporters, we get number 33 back. The coach is saying we're very optimistic that he'll play. He was limited participant today. He was running full speed, getting his legs ready, before the game. So, Aaron Jones is coming back. Will he stay healthy? We'll see. We're talking about Ford right now, though. I like Ford. For his big playability. Like you said, yeah, they brought in Hunt, but they let go of Hunt for Ford. You know what I'm saying? They let him go to be Chubb's backup. We got a question right here. 10-team, half PPR, thoughts on this trade? Send Mostert and Ridley for Gibbs and Waddle. No. Even though I'm the guy who says Mostert is injury prone. I'm gonna keep Mostert and Ridley. Gibbs and Waddle. I don't know what Gibbs is going. I don't think they're using him. They're using him, but I don't think they're gonna ever use him the way he needs to be used. We'll see. Waddle is still Waddle. You know, he isn't one of the top offenses, but to me, I look at that trade like, are you trading Mostert for Waddle? Yeah, in your mind you would based on where they finished last year, but we're in this year right now. Then you look at, would you trade Ridley for Gibbs? Absolutely. That's a crazy trade right there. But it's not PPR, so I got to go with it's half PPR, so I got to go with Mostert and Ridley because Mostert is going to get the touchdowns. Gibbs is worthless in half PPR to me. He's barely catching the ball as it is. Waddle gets yards and catches. Yeah, that's nice. Touchdowns, we don't know yet. I'll stay with the Mostert and Ridley sign, me personally.
So I agree with you on that. And to give some little stats on Mostert, as out of the top 3 running backs right now, Mostert, CMC, and KW the third, he has the highest yards per attempt, 5.9 yards per attempt, 240 yards, and he's 10 receptions, 10 targets, 79 receiving yards with 7 TDs, bro. 100%. And with the game that they just came off of him splitting duties with A-Chain, it's only going to help him hopefully preserve his tires later on down the season and still be effective. And you got to think, it was one play on the sideline where he got a little bit of physical, shook another brother, and was able to walk in. Mostert is looking like that playoff game where Jimmy only had to throw 7 times, and he hit for 200 in one game. And he's still running against the Packers right now. So, no, don't do it, big bro.
Mostert made a good point himself. He said he don't have tread on his own tires. He didn't get going until late in his career.
Yeah, he was a fucking practice player for like 6 years.
He said his main goal was to get Tua and Waddle stack. Hey, well, you're going to have to settle for the Tua and Mostert stack and wait. You might be able to trade, like you said. He said he talked about, he's saying what you said earlier, JD. Shout out to Derek. Thank you for like and subscribe when you get a chance right after we answer these questions or right now. You don't even got to wait. He said he want to see that revenge game versus Atlanta. I will wait a week on Ridley and sell high next week. I'd wait a week on Ridley, see if Waddle plays or if he's limited. Keep Mostert and then still trade Waddle for Ridley maybe if Ridley blow up. Because you could argue that he's the number one. You should be on the person like he's the number one. Let you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm with it, man. We appreciate you for watching, man. Fuck with us, man. A long way. Appreciate it. Let's see. Let's get back to this banner. Let me take this. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I'm good. In this good spot right now. Not in a rush to make a move. Yeah, man. Sometimes the best move is no move. You know what I'm saying? Nighthawk, can I ask a trade advice? Absolutely. Shoot it, man. We right here. We waiting. Let's keep going with these running backs. Connor, Steady Eddie. You know, Kurt called him a Steady Eddie. You know, play versus Dallas this week. His last 3 games, 12, 18, 19 fantasy points. 106 yards on the ground the game before, 98 versus the Cowboys, 7 yards per carry this one. He's doing damage without even catching the ball. First game, he had 5 catches. That gave him his 12, no touchdowns. But this is a team that's out here competing. They don't give a fuck
like
who they
top
playing.
3 right now in rush attempts right now, too. He's top 3 in rush attempts. And he's
14. I mean, he beat Kansas.
He got 51 total, and he's at 5.2 yards per clip. So, yeah, Connor is a steady Eddie right now, 100%. And he was going in the 7th, 8th round in redrafts.
He was in that running back dead zone that they call, and he's looking like the best one out the bunch. You got him. You got Miles Sanders who was in that zone. Madison was in that zone. Pacheco was in that zone. Swift was in that zone. Cook was in that zone. Connor was absolutely 1,000% a steal. Here go that question that Nighthawk got. My 4 running backs are CMC, Kamara, Swift, Aaron Jones. I just lost Mike Williams and need a wide receiver. I got off for Christian Watson and Pacheco for Swift and Dotson. What do you think? Let him get on the field first and see. They're using a lot of players right now. Aaron Jones, when he get there, he's going to catch the ball. Him and Watson are in the same position. We need to see. Dobbs is looking nice. Reed is a slot guy. Musgrave is picking up. Love is doing a lot with the little. Do I think he's just going to come in and give? He's only throwing for 150 and 250 yards, but he's efficient with the touchdowns. Do I think Christian Watson come back? He's just going to be going deep, 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 and Watson is just going to blow up. I need to see it first. I got to see it. So Swift and Dotson, I mean, damn, is there something else you could do? I don't believe in Dotson right now, but I'd rather have Swift than Pacheco, and I'd rather have Swift than Christian Watson.
Yeah,
and your running
I would
back
hold off.
10.
I will hold off on that move, big bro. But I would definitely be trying to get Pacheco up out of there.
Man,
that's for shit show.
Hold off on that move and ride this show out with us till the end when we give you these waiver wires, because there's some waiver wire wide receivers that's out there. Matter of fact, we about to bring some wide receivers up when we talk about these wide receiver studs. Let's get through these running backs real quick. Hold tight, and we're going to give you some gems that you could use that you may not even have to be thinking about only settling for Christian Watson. Let's finish with the running back.
Sure. Especially since you're thinking about Swift, selling Swift. Swift alone right now can bring you a top receiver by itself.
Yeah, you can get some. Hang tight. Don't go nowhere. Pierce with the bounce back. He had 2 close matchups. The line is still shitty. McKinnon, we just going to keep that whatever. He's there, whatever. He's somebody you can grab if he's on the wire. Just a stash. His games will be up and down. Pollard, we know he's going to do. ETN, we talked about how we wanted him to get more involved. Pacheco with the 15, but all 3 Chief running backs scored. So I'm not buying into that run game over there. If anything, I'm trying to sell it. Swift with 14, but again, he almost split carries with Gainwell, and I just don't understand it. Maybe they're just trying to preserve him because he is so good, but the boy is damn near averaging 7 yards a carry right now. Well, and 18 yards or something they said before contact, something crazy I read. We talked about James Cook. Touchdowns weren't there, but he's getting that rock. He's in that Pacheco range to me. Let's talk about the duds. Let's talk about the duds right quick. Hold on real quick. He said, I'm just worried if Watson blows up, he won't want to do it anymore. Hey, chances are his hamstring might blow up before he just blows up in 1 week.
We'll send him Aaron Jones for Watson straight up.
No, don't do that. Please don't. Watson, we haven't seen Watson pass what he did last year, and it wasn't with Love. I'm waiting on that. I can't.
I would rather, out of all those running backs, I would rather give up Aaron Jones instead of CMC, Kamara, and Swift. Because if you're trying to give up Swift, then you can go get a bigger name wide receiver than Watson. So if bruh is kind of pressed on trying to get one of them running backs that you got, the running back that I would be trying to give up is Aaron Jones, because I haven't seen him since week 1. And we ain't seen Watson this whole season yet. Just like Cuzzo said, he ain't playing with AR-12. So to me, I would try and hit him with a straight up 1-for-1 Aaron Jones for Watson.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And I'm going to say this. You just made a point. You said we haven't seen Watson with Love, but we've seen Aaron Jones, when healthy, be a potential RB1, right? For sure. Now, can he stay healthy? Can he do it? Yeah. But I think you could package Swift up, like you said, whose value is way higher in an offense that is going to be doing what they want to do with that rock, but Swift is going to be a part of it.
Okay, well, with that said, Aaron Jones, 9 attempts for 41 yards, 2 receptions for 86 yards in 1 game and 2 TDs. That's not sustainable for – you didn't miss the last 2 games, so all we got is what? A 13-mo game? Man, hell no. If you really want that potential of Watson, and we know that Aaron Jones ain't doing that every motherfucking game. And the other receiver, the other running backs that you had, to me, that's what I'm gonna do. If Brett wants one of them running backs, it's gonna be Aaron Jones.
Hold tight. You can get some wide receivers that might be better than Christian Watson. We don't know what he's going to do. And he came into the league battling hamstrings. He had hamstrings last year and he got some now. So go with what's known and stay away from the unknown. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you can argue that Aaron Jones is unknown because he only played one game. But I look at it as they've been letting both of them get healthy.
And it was against the Bears.
But see, on the flip side, look at this, though. Bro, Aaron Jones is their run game. Dylan has been terrible. Terrible. If their run game is going to have any success, it's going to be with Aaron Jones. Christian Watson does not dictate the success of the Packers passing game. So that's another way to look at it. Let's jump to the duds of the running backs. Jacobs 10, Gibbs 9, Bijan Robinson 9, outlier. Don't worry about that. Kyron Williams 7, Najee Harris continues to poop 6, Breece Hall 2, still getting back. Kelly 2, he's a drop candidate. And Henry, bro, King Henry, two fantasy points, bro. What the fuck is going on over there? I need your insight on this one, JD.
The matchup.
Is it panic time on Henry?
What I would say is, where's King Henry at? 51 attempts, 163, 3.2 yards per carry, but 5 receptions on 71 yards, bro, and he got fucking 1 TD right now. So, you know, it's not looking as of usual of what King Henry does, but you got to also remember King Henry also starts slow for his whole career. And then as the season goes on, that's when he ramps up 100%. So, you know, they ran up against who they ran up against. It is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, there's other running backs that you would definitely try and go package, but ain't nobody trying to take King Henry right now just based off of what we just seen last week. 100%.
You trade for him, I'll take him, but that's just because I'm like, there's no way this. But Spears been getting just as many carries as him, doing nothing from the beginning of the season. So, you know, on the dud list, I'm worried about it. How worried are you on Josh Jacobs?
I've been trying to send your boy tax trades for him right now too, though. So, you know, I think Josh Jacobs could, 100%.
Gibbs.
Jameer. Monty's the guy over there. Monty's still.
I ain't even gonna say it's Monty.
Game.
Monty's the one that could run between the tackles. Gibbs ain't.
But Monty is a top 24 running back right now, and he missed 1 game. 3.8 yards per carry, 100%. 37 carries, 141 yards in his first 2 games.
The few games I had Gibbs leagues in, I sold Gibbs. I still got him in a dynasty. I got him in a Ashy still, but you know he's not my best running back. Bijan outlier to me. Kyron Williams, 7 points, yeah, all right, but the volume was there. He stayed on the field damn near 100% of the time, like 80%. I'm not panicking on Kyron. He's still one of the great plays that JD called for the waiver wire pickup for sure. Najee, is it time to cut bait? Is it time to cut bait?
You definitely ain't gonna cut him. It's just probably you're just not gonna start him with
the
other options that you got.
You can't trade him. Reg been trying to trade him for I don't know how long.
Reg don't know a good trade when it slapped him in his face.
I could agree to that.
He fell into his championship like he said I fell into one. And them is facts.
He fell harder. We gonna leave that.
I falling and I can't get out.
Can't get out. Let's get to these wide receivers, man. I hope Nicholas still on there. Let's talk about these wide receivers. Let me pull my list back up. Keenan Allen with the 52. He was playing running back, quarterback, and wide receiver. Devontae Adams with the false album. Tyreek Hill, number 1 wide receiver, arguably. Him and Keenan Allen this year. 36. Thielen, we laughed about the Thielen. We'll come back to him. 31. Jefferson, 28. Chase bounced back with 26. Tank Dell, 26. Tank Dell is my guy. Mike Williams, 26. Obviously, ACL blew out. Mari Cooper with the 25. Debo with the 24 on Thursday night. AJ Brown, they went feed me. I'm open. He had the I'm open going on. 22 points. Mims, 20 points with only 3 catches again. He got a long return for a TD. I don't know what they're doing. They don't utilize them. They like to play a lot of 2 wide receiver sets, and he's not part of the plan. Sutton right behind him with 19. Chark came back, 19. Same. A lot of people right, and this is what we talking about to the homie that was in the chat asking. You got a lot of wide receivers that's on the wire that can possibly fill in until you see what your wide receivers is going to do. Chark with 19, St. Brown 19, Diggs 19, Olave 18, just lost Derek Carr, but got Jameis coming. Dubes with the 18. Tutu Atwell continuing, another one JD called. Tutu continue to look good, 17. Mike Evans continues to be Baker's favorite target, 17. Hollywood Brown with back-to-back 17. DK Metcalf with a 17 after he was questionable. Rondale Moore got a long one, so I'm going to look at that as possibly an outlier with 16. Calvin Austin also with a long, deep one. I'm going to look at that as possibly an outlier, but they are starting to get him involved, 16. Pittman Jr. been steady, another 16. Jacoby Myers, fresh off the concussion, back with 15 after having the 29 week one. Gallup, 15. Christian Kirk with a 15 after a 29-point game. Joshua Palmer, 14, one of our hot waiver wire pickups. And there's another guy that you might go target if you need a wide receiver, to the fella that was in the chat. DJ Moore with the last second, 13 points. Judy with 13s. And Josh Downs, another waiver wire guy we're going to talk about, 13. Who on this jumps out to you other than the obvious Keenan Allen's 52s and whatnot?
Let it go through one more time because it's only a couple of these boys that's in the top 24 of receivers in the first 3 weeks. So the one that jumps out to me is going to be Tank Dell. And Tank Dell is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's the 7th ranked receiver right now. 15 receptions, 21 targets, 251 yards, 16.7 yards per reception, and 2 TDs. He's the number 1 receiver over there in the first 3 weeks. 100%. And fuck 100%. Shout out Dobbs too. 3 TDs. 3 TDs on the season. He's another top 24 receiver, red zone threat. And then like how you just said about Tutu, 100%. This shit is fucking it's efficient over there with Tutu and Stafford and Tutu. If he didn't step out of bounds on one of them plays, he would have had 2 TDs last night. 100%. And he's a fucking top 24 receiver right now through the first 3 weeks. So yeah, them is the first 2 that jump off to me right now. Oh, and Debo's another top 24 receiver. Oh my mama. So yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna say this about Dubes. I look at the game script. They was down 17. Week 1, he did have 18, 4 catches on 26 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is where he got his money at. Then you go to week 2, 2 catches, only 30 yards, 3 targets. They spreading the ball around a lot. Then you talk about a Christian Watson coming back. I don't know if they have an alpha receiver. He had 12 targets last game. Again, I'm thinking of game script. I'm thinking of them being down 17 and making sure they throw the ball a lot, right? Jordan Love threw more than he did in any game this season, only being game 3. I'm not ready to crown Dobbs yet, again, because I feel like they're gonna spread the ball out more. They don't. That's the
crown him as what though?
As a must start. They spreading the ball around, and that's the good thing about having them young receivers is none of them demand the ball yet. Right? Can Dobbs be that guy that demands it later in the season, or even now continuing into the season? it's still an unknown for me personally. Again, Tank Dell must start every week. Even over Nico Collins, who everyone's high on, big target. Tank Dell got, he can make the plays when he get the ball in his hands from a short yardage standpoint to even the deep ball, which is looking good with him. I'm Tank Dell. I'm looking at this list. Tank Dell. I'm starting Tank Dell over all these players right here. Thielen, Sutton, Dobbs, Tutu, Hollywood. Depending on the matchup, maybe Pittman, but he's been pretty steady. I'm starting Tank Dell over Pittman. I'm starting Tank Dell over Christian Kirk. I'm starting Tank Dell over DJ Moore. Tank Dell is, until he showed me different, he's looking like that boy. League possible.
Yeah, my only thing with Dobbs is that Jordan Love, half of his TDs have gone to him. If he's six TDs and one interception, 3 of them TDs that went to Dobbs in the first 3 games. And I know that the second game wasn't what it was, but yeah, though. I mean, that says something, especially like how you said they were down by a whole bunch of points. It was 18-0 or 18-3 or whatever the fuck it was, 17-3 in that game. And who do you have to go to? 100%. That's my only thing.
Does that make him touchdown dependent?
He's a play. I mean, he got half of his TDs though, so he's looking for him in the red zone. And I think all 3 of his TDs was in the red zone. You know what I mean? So that means he's looking for him once they get down there. That's my only thing. 100%.
Yes,
that's my only thing with Dobbs. So that's a great flex play.
You starting him over Tutu?
No, I wouldn't.
You starting him over
Pittman? As a WR2 right now.
You starting him over Pittman or Christian Kirk?
No, Pittman has been solid for the first 3 weeks, even playing with a backup quarterback. But I love Dobbs though, bro.
It's some decisions out there, but I'll say this. Wide receiver is the deepest position in fantasy. So again, I think his name was Nighthawk. For Nighthawk, don't sell a running back for a receiver when you got a lot of these receivers. And you said you in the 10-team half PBR, so I guarantee some of the players on this list are available. Let's talk about, is there anybody on this list? I mean, a lot of these guys are nothing really to talk about. Keenan Allen is the run game of the Chargers. Herbert's throwing it 47 times. Uriah Keenan is nothing to talk about. He's going crazy. Adams, he needs to get up out of there. They're 0-3. Fantasy perspective, he going to do his thing. But I feel bad for my boy. Hill, we know what Hill going to do in the best offense. Okay, let's talk about Thielen real quick. Is he a must-add, must-start, or is it based on if Dalton playing?
Well, Dalton only played 1 game, and he has 20 receptions on 25 targets, 211 yards, 10.6 yards per reception, and 2 TDs. So Thielen is somebody that you want to be targeting to add to your bench 100%. He is, even with Brees playing, Brees is looking for him because he's the savvy veteran that knows how to get open 100%. And then when you got DJ taking the top off, and DJ scored too, you know what I mean? The fucking rookie, I can't think of his name right now. He got hurt last week, but
Mingo.
Once he get back acclimated, he's gonna be all right. So yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely targeting TT, even though it's gonna cost a little bit of a premium to try and get him right now coming off this game. But yeah, though, I definitely would be trying to get Thielen to add to my bench, 100%. And like I said, the boys that you got on the ticker, now that we got 3 weeks of numbers, and that's what I'm doing every 3 weeks, I'm looking for the motherfuckers that's in the top 24, top 36, and not the motherfuckers that just had 1 boom game to go try and bank the house on. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for the trend, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing on my motherfucking spreadsheet, 100%.
Quick question right here. Stop it. Hey, this ain't yapping. This is game that we giving, man. Ain't no stop yapping. Laporta and Ingram. Laporta all day and
It's
twice on
Laporta, bro.
Tuesday.
It's
He's
Laporta, big
playing
dog.
nonstop.
And did you give us a like or a sub when you jumped in this motherfucker? Because if not, big bro, you know what I mean. We trying to give you some game, but you call it yapping.
You call it yapping.
Well,
Hey,
man, do
Laporta
something
all
that's
day.
free, big dog.
Hey, go look. We been screaming Laporta. Been screaming Laporta. Go check that out. We about to get into them in a little bit. Let's get with these duds real quick on the wide receivers. I just threw the duds down there. Duds, wide receivers. I'm not gonna call Puka Nuka's 12 points a dud because that's still solid. Again, these aren't necessarily duds. I could have took Puka and Zay Flowers out of there. 12 is solid for a flex spot. That's like a running back. You would love for a flex running back to get you 12 points. George Pickens, I don't even want to call him a dud with the 11, even though he's coming off the 23. Addison with the late touchdown, with the late big plays, give you 11. Mike Thomas is that 10 to 11 point guy. It seems like that's what he's going to give you. D-Hop, definitely a dud at 7. That whole offense is sit him right now, other than Henry and Hope. Shit show. McLaurin, they had a tough matchup. Buffalo whooped on them. Still, McLaurin, I'm looking to trade him or not start him. I'm starting Tank Dell over McLaurin right now. Garrett Wilson, it's ugly. I was fortunate enough to get Waddle for him, even though Waddle didn't play, because they just signed Trevor Siemian. Garrett Wilson, Zach Wilson, the milfucker, is not it. He's fucking the whole team. It's not all the way his fault, but it is all the way his fault. Godwin, 8 points, another dud. We hoping Godwin to get. Hey, look, man, you talking about we still yapping, man. This is game giving. If you don't like
Hey,
how we
Brad,
talking,
won't you
man,
just do
get
us a
your
favor and get your
motherfucking
ass up out of here?
Get
That's
your
what you can do,
motherfucking
big
ass up
dog.
out of here. Hey,
Oh, my
I
mama,
hope
man,
you
fuck
lose
you.
for the next 10 weeks,
100%.
man. Hey, fuck
my
you,
mama.
Yeah. We gonna leave it at that.
Get your motherfucking ass up out of here, big dog.
Man. Hey, this is some shit we give you some news you can use, and you talk about yapping while you on here listening to what we talk about. Where your research at? Where your fantasy perspective at? Tell us who to play, Laporta or Ingram. You in here asking like Laporta ain't on the field for 90% of the plays, blocking and pass catching with a top 10 quarterback throwing the ball. Get your ass up out of here. Anyway, we ain't listening to
bro.
We ain't listening to the chart. Jaquavian. Get your ass up out of here. But anyway, let's get back to this shit.
That's a great laugh for tonight.
Jaqueef. You don't even know what a queef is. You probably don't even get none, you little jerk off. But anyway, Tank Dell, we got Collins in there. Obviously, we ain't fucking with him. So look, this is what I was gonna say about Godwin, bro. I'm telling you. Baker Mayfield loves to take shots. He finally got a wide receiver that he could just throw that motherfucker up to, bro. It's looking ugly for Godwin.
What else too though? What's fucking Godwin? Pause. Is fucking Rashad. Rashad is getting the dump offs too, and that's where Godwin works at, not just as dump offs, but he's short to intermediate routes. So with Rashad being hold on, give me 2 seconds. Where Rashad at? Rashad, 10 for 10. 10 targets, 10 receptions, 64 yards with 1 total TD. So Rashad White is eating in that range of what fucking what Godwin is doing as well. So, you know what I mean? It's just, and it's not enough passing volume there. Baker went like 18 for 25 yesterday, bro. And the only TD that he got was to his favorite target, Mike Evans.
Drake London, sit. Look at all these players right here. I'm starting Tank Dell over them right now, and it's only week 3. Godwin, Tank Dell. Garrett Wilson right now, Tank Dell. D-Hop, Tank Dell. Obviously, Smith, they wanted to get the ball to A.J. Brown, and they was whooping on Tampa. They didn't need him. So this is an outlier. Smith with the 6. Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Drake London, again, it's time to sit him. You should not be playing him right now. Jahan Dotson, they're not going to him like we thought. T. Higgins, 2 games out of 3 where he had single digits. low single digit. One was 0. This one was 4. He had a blow up game. Knowing the health of Burrow and Higgins being that deep ball guy, that touchdown guy, I'm looking to trade Higgins right now. I'm sorry, or maybe buy low. But again, I can't really get jiggy with them right now. Let's jump into tight ends, man. This jerk off and want to talk. We ain't even doing it for him because I call myself the tight end guru anyway. But Laporta, number 1 tight end this week, 23. You got Kelsey, obviously the number 1 tight end ever, 19. Kittle bounced back with the 16. Is that with or without Ayuk? We'll get back to that. Pharaoh Brown, New England Patriots, 2 TDs, 16. Is he somebody to look at? I don't think so, but we'll see. Parham and Everett both scored. You got Parham with 2 TDs, 14 points. Everett 9. Firemouth with 13. Hawkinson with 13. Ingram with 13. Higbee with 12. Musgrave with 10. Goddard with 9. Pitts with 9. Pitts continues to look horrible. It's not even Pitts, it's Ritter. Everett, and then we got Ferguson. So I look at these tight ends and I think Everett, Ferguson, Goddard, Parham, Farrell Brown, they're touchdown dependent like most tight ends outside of the Kelseys, the Hawkinsons, and now I'm putting Laporta up there. Is you putting Laporta in your top 5 for the rest of the year? Because I am.
Yeah, he's damn near there, bruh, for sure. And Jared Goff know what he got in him. He got that safety blanket. And like you said, he could block. So when you could block, you could sell the block and, get them little 3, 4, 5-yard passes. And Laporta is a hell of an athlete. He come up out that Iowa. I think that he came with where Kittle and them come from. Hell of an athlete. So he get that yak, dog. 100%. He's just not a catch and fall guy.
Yeah, a lot of them is cheated, man. Laporta's that guy, man. I ain't gonna lie. Again, Firemouth. All these players are touchdown dependent. You got to keep you 2 of these dudes on the hook when you go on tight ends because you got to go based on the matchup. Duds. Let me throw the dud list up here. Andrews, 7. It says Nuke, but that didn't mean to say Nuke. 6. Who the fuck is Nuke? I fucked up. Waller, 5. Henry, 3. Zach Ertz, 2. Not worried about Andrews. Waller, I'm worried about. But I'm not worried about because of who they played. Again, you got Daniel Jones, who had 2 points in 2 out of 3 games. I'm more worried about Daniel Jones for Waller, but the targets is there. But yes, I'm worried about Waller. If I can go get Laporta, I'm loving life right now. Hunter Henry, we just talked about Pharaoh Brown. So I am worried about Henry. I hope you sold high. Ertz with the 2, but again, they was running that rock. It was game script. So, tight ends is something you got to pivot on. Let's throw in the top waiver targets. In any order, not in any order. This is the top targets that's out there that's not on. A-Chain, Tank Dell, Roshan Johnson continues to take snaps from Herbert, even though the offense is shit. Josh Palmer, Musgrave, if you're looking for tight ends, he's going to keep getting involved, and he's one of those guys like Laporta that is getting in the game. It's just the ball's getting spread around, so he's not a must-add. CJ Stroud got a tough one coming up. They play the Steelers, so you might got action, depending on what type of league you in, for him to sit on the wire one more week, maybe not. Mims, we talked about him not being used, but steady scoring. He's a stash. Dobbs, JD loves Dobbs, so he shouldn't be on the wire in your league, but just in case he is, go grab him. Breida, fill in for Barkley while you're gone if you're desperate. Who you like more for Mike Williams being hurt, Quentin Johnson or Palmer?
For the first couple of weeks, it's going to be Palmer, but QJ was a number 1 first round draft pick for a reason. 100%. He'll start to make his mark. Starting off slow as a rookie wide receiver. So yeah, he'll make his mark come within the next couple of weeks for sure. So I definitely let a motherfucker go get Palmer. And I just picked up QJ right before the game started on Sunday. 100%. And
QJ's a stash. Palmer's
Spencer
a start to now, damn near.
Huh?
I said Palmer's a start now. QJ's a stash, depending on how they use him next game.
Exactly.
Jaden Reed is a guy I still like, especially with Watson coming back. Those wide receivers over there. Josh Downs a sneaky pickup right now over there in Indianapolis, making plays. Rookie, he was nice. Ferguson, the steady Eddie. We talk about tight ends, but again, my top targets this week, if they're on the wire, which they shouldn't be, A-Chain, Tank Dell, and then I'll probably have to go Joshua Palmer will be my number 3 because Herbert's throwing the ball 47 times, and Palmer is somebody he trusts. They peppered him with targets even when Mike Williams was here, and he had almost 800 yards last year. That's that wire, man. Week 3 recap with the week 4
I just got a trade offer
targets.
for one of the.
Oh, we going in, man. Hey, this shit don't stop, man. This shit is it in AOB?
Yeah.
Is it in AOB? Send me something, man.
I'm trying to get definitely in
back.
AOB.
I'm trying to get Brees back, man. How high is you on Brees?
He can go. But now if I get this one player that I'm trying to trade for, I don't know. It depends on what this dude's trying to do. My mama, I told the nigga I'd give him the whole bando right now. On my mama.
The whole bando.
I'm known for sending the whole bando 100%.
So look, let me ask you this.
Shout out to everybody.
Is Mims a must add for you?
Yeah, if I don't gotta put no claim in for him, he only got 5 fucking receptions.
Well, one
of them was 3 for 3, and then whatever he did on Sunday, he only got like 5 or 6 receptions.
Okay.
Oh, my mama with 1 TD every day.
Well, I just sent you Mims in your cuff over there in Cleveland, man. Let me know, Brees Hall.
Yeah, I know, but I might not need him right now if I'm able to get this player right now on my mother.
Well, do your thing, man. This wire night, man, is 9:25, man. We got about 2.5 hours, man. Some of us got work, some of y'all got work, some of y'all don't. It's the Hard to Start podcast, man. And anybody in the comments talking about quit yapping, you can suck out. What you like to say on the way 100%. Out, JD?
In fantasy, if you ain't got the heart to start, you ain't got the nuts of a champion. In life, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, my G's, 100%. So, this is what this Hard to Start shit is about, man. It's about fantasy football, and it's about giving y'all game about life, man, about the experiences we done been through, all the bullshit, you know what I mean, and how we steadily persevering through this motherfucking game we call life and this game called fantasy football, 100%, man. So, stay tuned to what we got going on. Appreciate the motherfucking thumbs up, the motherfucking side, the subs. Y'all just don't know how much that shit help out, man. So whenever you slide up in this motherfucker, man, throw a thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, man, subscribe to it. Get locked in with us, man. And, we gonna stay pushing 100%, man.
We out.